You're probably sitting there scrolling through endless lists of baby monitors, wondering if any of them will actually give you peace of mind instead of just another gadget on the nightstand. You don't want to spend a few $100s on something that looks shiny on the box, but ends up spitting out static at 2 a.m. or, worse, letting a stranger peek into your baby's room. That hesitation is real, and it's why I'm going to walk through the details that matter before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest deal breaker for many new parents is security. The Infant Optics DXR 8 Pro skips Wi-Fi entirely, which means there's no internet signal to hack, no app that could be compromised, and a closed-loop connection that stays between the camera and the parent unit. If you've read the news about smart baby monitors being vulnerable, this is the kind of offline reassurance that actually matters when you're trying to sleep. But security isn't the only thing you'll be testing in the middle of the night. The monitor's claim to fame is its active noise reduction, ANR. In a typical household, you'll hear the fridge kick on, the dog bark, or the hallway door slam sounds that can trigger false alerts on cheaper units. With ANR, the monitor uses a small algorithm to differentiate your baby's cry from background noise, so you're not constantly picking up the TV or the neighbor's lawnmower. In my own testing, after the first couple of false beeps, the unit settled down and only rang when there was a genuine disturbance, which is a huge confidence boost after a sleepless night. Day-to-night vision is another practical point. The DXR 8 Pro's camera uses a built-in infrared LED that automatically switches to night mode, delivering a crystal-clear picture even in a dark nursery. I placed the camera on a high shelf with the baby's crib on the opposite side of the room, and the image stayed sharp enough to see tiny facial expressions. The night feedings were less of a guesswork scenario because you could actually see whether the baby was still latched or had already fallen asleep. Now, let's talk about flexibility. This monitor comes with interchangeable lenses that snap on in seconds. The default 3.5mm lens gives a standard field of view, but if you have a larger room or want to keep an eye on both the crib and a play mat, you can swap to the 2.8mm wide-angle lens. I tried the wide lens when my baby started crawling. The extra peripheral view let me watch his little adventures without having to reposition the camera every few minutes. The lens change is truly plug-and-play. No tools required, which is a nice touch for parents who don't want to spend an afternoon fiddling with screws. Battery confidence is another often overlooked factor. The parent unit's battery is user-replaceable, so when the charge finally drops after a marathon of night feeds, you can pop a fresh AA in minutes and keep the unit running. Some monitors lock the battery inside, forcing you to stay tethered to a power cord or wait for a full recharge. With the DXR 8 Pro, the backup is as simple as grabbing a spare battery from the kitchen drawer. All these features sound great on paper, but there are a few practical limits you need to weigh. Because the system is completely offline, you're limited to the range of its radio frequency transmission. In a typical single-story home, the range sits comfortably around 300 feet, but if you have a sprawling two-story layout or thick brick walls, you might start to see signal dropouts in far-flung rooms. I tested it from the master bedroom to the far end of a medium-sized house, and the connection held, but the signal was noticeably weaker at the outer edges. If you need to monitor a baby's room from a detached garage or a separate wing, this might be a deal-breaker. Another compromise comes from the lack of a smartphone app. Some parents love being able to check the monitor from their phone while they're in the kitchen or out of the house. With this model, you're tied to the dedicated parent unit. That means you won't get push notifications on your phone if the monitor is out of range and you can't stream the feed to a tablet. If you're comfortable keeping the parent unit on the nightstand or on a shelf in the living room, that's fine. But if you expect to walk around the house with the feed on your phone, you'll need a different solution. So who should actually buy the DXR 8 Pro? If you're a first-time parent who values privacy above all, hates the idea of a cloud-based monitor, and wants a system that's simple to set up without wrestling with an app, this is a strong candidate. It's also a solid choice for households where multiple devices cause Wi-Fi congestion. The analog link stays unaffected. The interchangeable lens is a plus for families who plan to transition the monitor from a nursery to a playroom.